Welcome back, finally, into the third round here on Stream 1, and a meeting between the top seed in this tournament, Luke Humphries, who looked like he was living up to that billing here on Wednesday.
25.
But was knocked out in the opening round yesterday, beaten by Karol Sedlacek, and was almost
25.
knocked out in the first round today. He went the distance against America's Danny Baggish. Now he faces another man donning the stars and stripes. And he is starting
25.
to earn his stripes, and we'll get another one if he can knock out one of the
25.
stars of 2022. It's Jules van Dongen, the American Dutch Dragon, against cool hand Luke Humphries. I'm Chris Murphy, and Dan Dawson has joined me to talk you through this battle for a place in the last 16.
Yeah, cheers, Murph. Jules van Dongen, the Dutch Dragon, playing in his first ever board final in one of these Players' Championship events, because it has been a baptism of fire
96.
for the Dutch-born American, who's still commuting from Kansas, Missouri, going back and forth. He's bringing the family with him sometimes. I'm not sure if they're with him here in Barnsley this week. But it has been difficult for Jules van Dongen to find his feet. We saw him in Q School, and he breezed through that, and he had some very impressive averages, but it's taken him quite a while to reproduce that sort of stuff. We've seen him around the sort of 97, 98 mark
44
already this week. Won one game against Jack Main a couple of days ago. Average similar and losing
60.
to Dirk van Duijvenbode in round one yesterday. So there looks like there's a sign of improvement from him.
Yeah, Main, of course, who we've mentioned already, is at 2 9-darters in the last couple of days, having never hit one before.
85.
Van Dongen win a board, having never won one before. We'll have to get past Luke Humphries for the first time.
60.
If he does do that. They have met once before. It was here in Barnsley, the second Players' Championship event of the year, and Humphries won it in the first round 6-2, having won the tournament the previous day.
59.
I mean, the list of players that he's beaten on this series of events, Jules van Dongen, it's not a very long list, but weirdly, sort of high-profile players. Martin Schindler, the German number 2, that was the first player he beat. Thibaut Tricot, the Lakeside finalist, that was the next one. Then he went a whole load of events going out in round 1. Beat Jack Main a couple of days ago, then Danny Van Tripe and Josh Rock in the second round here.
Game shot.
But 66 is taken out in 2 darts by Luke Humphries to take the first leg in this one. And to be honest, with the way that the world of darts is right now, this would be his biggest win since getting his tour card at the start of the year.
83.
Now, as for today's tournament in general, well, it's been a contrast to what we saw yesterday when we saw a lot of the seeds go out early, including the top one in Luke Humphries. Most of the top seeds have made it through to this third round stage. However, the second seed, Nathan Aspinall, won't be going any further
58.
than that. He's been knocked out by Krzysztof Kachuk 6-4. The pole seeing off Aspinall, who did stage a fight back. 55. He was 5-1 down in that match, Nathan Aspinall. Martin Schindler and Jose de Sousa, the other 2 players already through to the last 16. Schindler's seen off Steve Beaton 6-1, and de Sousa seeing off
47.
Richie Edhouse 6-3.
Yeah, another impressive display from Jose de Sousa. I think he's back, you know. He's not quite firing on all cylinders, but
130.
my word, what a player.
Well, he's one of the players to hit a 9-darter as well, isn't he, this week? I mean, it might be quicker to tell you who hasn't.
How many are we at now?
But we're up to 7 since the
60.
European Tour qualifiers on Tuesday, and there's still another day and a half of darts to go. Half of it, that half-day stream today, and then we've got qualifiers for the World Series finals coming up tomorrow. You can follow progress of the players at the Dart Connect website for that.
134.
Well, Van Dongen gets himself down to a 1 treble combo finish, but Luke Humphries is already on 1. Can't find the treble required.
57.
So it's a tricky 119. Nobody's favourite check out this, because you get the treble, and then you might only still end up with a dart at the bull. 12 segment now. Oh, well, you will get a dart at double. Double 13.
Yes.
Just checking. But not checking out.
106.
Yeah, it was a great attempt by JVD.
Game
but
shot.
Luke Humphries isn't messing around when it comes to finishers. The 66 followed by the 52. And he breaks as early as possible and leads 2-0.
Yeah, he's had a bit of a wait for this game, Luke Humphries, hasn't he? Having blasted past Luke Peters, 6-0 with an average, what, more than 108.
Yeah, 108.65 to be exact.
80.
Cool hand Luke versus no legs Luke.
$77.
This at the very top of the draw. Pretty obvious, he's the number 1 seed, Luke Humphries. The winner will take on either Florian Hempel or Matt Campbell, 2 unseeded players.
140.
But in the same quarter of the draw, we've got one of the top seeds, Dimitri Vandenberg, still going. He's in an all-Belgian clash with Brian Raman. Ross Smith is one of the second-tier seeds. He's been playing some decent darts this week after a tricky year so far, Ross Smith. He's taken on Steve West.
180.
Maximum from Jules van Dongen means he's threatening a break of throw here.
135.
He's threatening it, but Humphries has left that 66 that he took out to hold his throw in the first leg. Needs to find a treble. 19s, maybe 15s. That was the intention, but he was a long way off the mark.
69.
Double 16.
50.
First time he's missed a dart. Double Luke Humphries, and Van Dongen has 3 at the same target. Only
Game
needs
shot.
1. Break straight back. Game on.
As I said at the start of this one, it's the first time that Jules has ever gone past round 2 in one of these events, so it's uncharted territory.
96.
But if he were to find a way to come through this, it would be an unseeded player in the last 16. It would be an unseeded player in the quarter-finals.
He hasn't been playing darts very long, has he, Jules van Dongen?
No time at all.
Remarkable story. Rocked up at some events, didn't he, in America last year and won them.
And it's not as if, you know, you hear some players who just seem to have this natural ability where the first time they pick up a set of darts and all of a sudden they're averaging 70s, 80s, you know, very, very good local league standard pretty much as soon as they play. Wasn't like that for Jules. Him and his mates, a bunch of expats, Dutch expats playing out in Missouri, like they were 50 average guys. That was, you know, you and me, Murph. That's people watching. The people watching at home, they'll be better players than that. But in the space of a couple of years, he's taken himself onto the PDC tour. It's astonishing.
51.
He also qualified for the WDF World Championship at Lakeside, didn't he? Allowed to play by the PDC along with a few other tour card holders. Felt a bit sorry for him there. We'll come back to that in a moment. But he's come back from 2-0 down to tie up the match at 2-2 with that double top.
Back-to-back 13 darters for Jules van Dongen.
Yeah, he lost at the Lakeside to Ryan de Vrede, but it was in a match that was easy to be distracted in. There was a generator failure, caused a big delay during the game, and they came back and played the match, and it wasn't. They weren't able to broadcast it live, so it was a bit of a subdued affair. I still stand by my theory that it was his walk-on music that blew the generator.
Yeah, well, at some point, I assume we're going to have a Jules van Dongen versus Dirk van Dijvenbode game where we get the mad walk-on derby.
134.
Yeah, real head-banging stuff.
$59.
Now, looking like a comfortable hold of throw for Luke Humphries here.
$53.
He's going to have plenty of time. A little surge from Van Dongen seems to have ended. 16 for tops.
36.
Just over the top, but it shouldn't matter.
Decider, that one. European champion Rob Cross, the number 3 seed here today. This is getting messy.
26.
This is getting very messy.
He's left it awkward as well, hasn't he? Yeah, I'm absolutely bemused, that the first round matches we had on this board, barring a good performance from Stephen Bunting, were pretty dreadful, to be honest. And Matt Campbell and Florian Hempel have ended up playing in the board final. It's 5-2 to Campbell. He's averaging 107.84. Hempel's averaging 103, as Humphries finally gets the double he needed. And that's after Hempel averaged 102 and Campbell averaged more than 100 to beat Stephen Bunting in the second round.
Or just getting the dross out of the way early on while you're commentating on it, Murph.
Well, I think obviously it's the cameras that affected them.
81.
Dave Chisnell's in a bit of a battle at the minute. He's been playing some excellent stuff all week. But he's 4-3 down to Pete Burgoyne, a man who is only driven up from the East Midlands where he's based. Well, 2 more legs for him needed.
Well, speaking of drives, he's a scratch golfer, Pete Burgoyne, and a professional.
140.
He had a great year, hasn't he? Great first half of the year, Luke Humphries. Many fancied him at the match play. Many still fancy him to maybe add major honours to his CV before the end of the season. Only Michael van Gerwen has picked up more titles in 2022 than Cool Hand Luke.
44.
He's not shy of talking himself up, Luke Humphries. He does it in quite an understated way, but he's absolutely 100% convinced of his own abilities and what he is capable of doing.
59.
He said it after winning the first one of these this year, after the final against Ryan Searle. Look, I believe that I've got it in me to win major honours and multiple major honours, 59. And this year as well. And to be fair to him, in the subsequent weeks he won 4 European tours. So he wasn't lying.
A great player, but he is being given a hard battle here by Van Dongen. Another in there. Leaves double 19.
139.
Can't quite find it, and there is an opportunity here for Van Dongen to steal a march.
He's going to get a dart to go in the lead here. Double top. And those first 2 darts were bang on, exactly where he aimed them. Can he find the tops? No, he can't. Massive let-off.
Double 8. Double 4.
15.
Well, he may have been let off, but some tiny margins of misses there have allowed Jules van Dongen back in. Again, he can't find the tops. He did it double 10 last time he went for it, and he's nailed it again, and we see a little bit of a celebration there. A shake of the fist from Jules van Dongen and a shake of the head from Luke Humphries.
And it could really shake up this tournament. Because if the top seed goes, then I can tell you, it'll either be Jules van Dongen or Florian Hempel in the quarterfinals, because Florian Hempel... Oh, sorry, no, hang on. Shut my mouth. Matt Campbell has won that one, I beg your pardon. Florian Hempel, 102 average. Not enough, because Campbell has averaged 106, but it will be an unseeded player in the quarterfinals.
So shut my mouth has got to be the best line of commentary I've ever heard 59. You utter.
Thanks, Murph.
Now take your own advice. Quiet.
Oh, do it on your own then.
Well, I did do Sean Wilkinson against John Brown on my own, and I think that was punishment enough.
61. $81.
Looking a little bit frustrated, isn't he? Cutting it. A kind of deflated figure, Luke Humphries.
He's only averaging in the 80s here. And that makes him vulnerable. Makes him vulnerable to anyone. But particularly Jules van Dongen, who, look, confidence has got to have been thin on the ground. He's admitted in recent weeks that he has found life very, very tough. And the results have shown that. There's no getting away from it. But he's played some of the best stuff we've seen from him this week.
57.
He's doing things here that he's never done before.
Humphries, though, on the brink 97. Of a break back, unless we see an explosion of excellence here from Jules van Dongen. Not going to happen.
$104.
But there have been misses at doubles from Luke Humphries.
Game
But
shot.
you don't see him miss that double 10 there. It is 4 apiece. It's an immediate break back. So cool hand Luke keeps his cool. No panic. He is in control of this game.
59.
But it is such a light grip that he has on it.
Last 16 match coming up here after this will be Martin
97.
Schindler against either the double 9 dart hero this week, Jack Main, or the World Cup winner Simon Whitlock ahead of his return to his homeland.
Yeah, it's only just got going, that game. Simon Whitlock's gone 1-0 up with a 12 dart leg. Dave Chisholm and Pete Burgoyne in the last leg decider. That could have a big impact on the outcome of today if Pete Burgoyne were to just nick it against the number 10 seed.
Not the slowest player on tour, is he, Jules van Dongen, but it's certainly not a pace that will suit Luke Humphries.
130.
Has to make sure that he still throws with his usual quick rhythm.
$58.
Just the 58 from Van Dongen doesn't apply as much pressure as he would have liked. And there will be a dart at double 16. But it's only 1 dart, and that's not enough for Luke Humphries. He's going to have to improve if he is going to add to his title haul today.
Well, that was his 10th dart missed at double in this match.
60.
He's got 3 more at it. And it's become more difficult because that dart was so close.
Game shot.
But he does manage somehow to find a way in. And he might find a way to win.
Yeah, Dave Chesnell's found a way to win 6-5 against Pete Burgoyne.
One from Luke Humphries, rare that he gets beaten in that metric.
93. $140.
Of course, Humphries would have the...
To a board final in Players' Championship events, there's certainly progress for the Dutch Dragon, but he does not progress any further today. Cool hand Luke Humphries, despite missing all those darts at double and only an 88 average, he is still in with a chance of adding to his title haul. He will play Matt Campbell of Canada.